Ruby Tooby. After painting that pumpkin patch rock I did, I realized I really liked painting on that little air dry clay I used. So I'm going to sculpt a pumpkin and paint it. So first I need to get the stuff to make the pumpkin, and I'm going to make a core out of this plastic bag. Since I got a ton of them, I'm going to use some masking tape to hold it, and I'll just do it all off the camera. Sorry, when I was filming this, I was standing up and couldn't see. So there's that, and then put this around it. There's the core. And there's the core. Now I got a big blob of that Crayola model magic, and just gonna work and do it all off the camera again. And now I'm trying to smooth it. I messed up. I should have done 2 more clay, because I had a real problem when it was drying with it cracking. Because everything you see me doing right now was trying to prevent it from cracking. I was patching thin spots and everything. And now I'm putting the stem on. And off camera I did all the sculpting. So there it is. I did the lines. It's all touching up still. And as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, I do not like that stem. The stem looks like a giant marshmallow. Yeah. So I'm going to squish it out and bend it. And bend it. There, I like that a lot better. And now it needs to dry for almost 2 weeks and it still isn't dry. So yeah, see, I got all these cracks. I tried sealing them with my tacky glue. But I know paint won't stick to this tacky glue because I did it on something else and sculpted. See? 2 layers actually kind of filled them in really nicely. So I am going to put a layer of gesso. Hopefully the gesso will stick to the glue. So let me just do that and get back. So the gesso pretty much covered it. There are a couple little spots where it didn't stick, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to paint the pumpkin blue. I went back and forth on what color to paint this. I finally decided I like the blue I use, so I'm using that. I should not have used this brush. Unfortunately, I didn't have a brush that was actually big enough to, or small enough to fit in my little paint pot. And, yep. Now I'm going to do the stem brown, and I decided to use a dotting tool because I thought last time I did, it took several coats and still didn't get opaque, and this way I can put on a nice thick coat. I have to say, I actually was watching something while I was doing this, but the sound of this dotting tool going over this clay was so nice. And I'm not used to using a dotting tool like this with acrylic paint. I'm used to using fabric paint when I do squishies. This stuff's a lot runnier. Also surprised me is how long it took this to dry. This whole pumpkin took a while to dry. Usually acrylic paint dries pretty fast, but I had sitting in front of a fan, it was still wet. I actually got my fingerprints in it and had to do touch-ups off screen. Okay, now that it finally dried, I'm gonna... Oh no, it didn't dry. Just use my black marker to do this. I was also impressed because usually when I use this blue paint, I can't get these markers to work on it. Okay, just go around, try not to put my fingers in the paint. I have trouble seeing where some of these lines are now, too. And just keep going. See, I was trying to make sure I wouldn't put my fingers in. I have to admit, this didn't turn out quite the way I was thinking it would. Oh, now the gold. This is after it dried. And I actually did this on the bottom, but evidently I didn't push record. Anyway, as I sang, it didn't turn out the way I was thinking it would. It kind of looks like something maybe my 3-year-old nephew would make. Yeah. There we go.